One perfect love family, wholeness and balance. What's up? Jesse Tree here. Hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm enjoying this beautiful day with this lovely, cloudy, rainy weather. It's been like 100 degrees here in New Mexico and dry and hot, so welcoming this moisture very much and helping the helping the food forest stay alive at this time. It's something that's kind of up for me right now, and it may be up for you right now too. It's new moon, uh, and it's time for new beginnings. There's a death and rebirth that is happening now collectively, and mostly it's around stuff in our lives that we may have loved, has sustained us for many years. It may be a job, maybe a relationship, maybe lifestyle or something you've identified with, but it just needs to die and fall away. And I'm definitely going through this. I'm also kind of going through a midlife chrysalis. I like that approach of it because it really is a transformation. There's an opportunity available of maturation and kind of moving in to your elder years with grace and with more of yourself than you've ever had in your life. But myself, a lot of my friends are going through this time right now where so much is shifting and changing as our lives and our hormones change, and our kids are moving out, and so it's a time for change. And the content that I'm here to create and share with you today is around this idea. There's a lot of fear around AI, around economics. I know my economics are changing, and when you're 50, you're older, there's a lot of clinging there. There's a lot, and that's the same with our whole culture. We've been dealing, even though this stuff may not be serving us, like I love my job doing permaculture, but I'm like overdoing it on my body, and I need to find a different mode to move into, more of design and instruction and education, and honoring myself, paying myself enough, because it's been difficult, so whatever. These are some of the things that are for me. You may be having something similar happening for you, and on this collective level, we're dealing with AI, and I wanted to just address this briefly, because this is a potential time where we can skillfully pivot, use AI, not in just a utilitarian way, but since this is something that we've created that may be sentient, we need to take accountability and imbue AI, instruct AI, sort of have the algorithms of AI geared towards human values of compassion, kindness, integrity, respect, our better selves, and to step into that and model it, and let AI help us to embody that more and use it as a tool to diagnose disease, to use natural principles to heal the earth. I think of this solar punk kind of future where we could have, permaculture and alternative energy generation and AI helping us. But we have to move our consciousness more into away from this fear, control systems, the economic wars, the diet wars, all that stuff, into this unity vibration, and embrace, loving kindness with with everything, all sentience, even if it's artificial, which is, I don't know that AI is to the place of sentience yet, but it could go there, it would seem. So, and this ties in to breatharian concepts too, of freedom and naturalness and openness, that I want to explore briefly on this video too of like, let not breatharianism become, gotta throw the stick from the dog, dogmatic, another way in which the algorithms can treat us preferentially, to support, you know, maybe eating disorders, or to do, you know, economics and identification through social media with it. When these identifications and things start to crystallize in us, anything you affix to, identify with, like me being a breatharian. We're all breatharians. I am not to the point yet where I consume nothing at all. I dry fast 20 to 23 hours a day, and I consume mainly liquids, but I still consume solids too. And in the liquids there's soluble fiber, there's nutrients, it's not like I'm not supported by the foods. It is something that we can grow into, but this has been my message all along, is this is something that is this long, slow process. Let's take that same approach with our culture, with our relationship with AI, with our new relationship with economics, a long game view of how are we going to live on this planet, support the ecology, support the people, and have some sort of economic stability. And we have to marry those things. This is the beauty of permaculture. Care of people, care of the earth, and return of all surplus. That is the ethos of permaculture. That is what we can do for a multi-generational culture. That's the meaning of permaculture. So similarly with our health, our personal health, you know, our mental health and well-being, we have to take a long game approach. We have to integrate everything that's going on now with our families, and integrate all the changes, you know, and that's what we showed up here to do. That's why we were birthed in this time. We chose to take on these trials, to make this transformation. So this is all I wanted to chant about today, a short video. I've been less called to be on social media because the way I find it negatively affects my consciousness, even though not completely. I feel a lot of benefit in sharing my journey. I don't want to make this about me. I just am trying to share my experience in becoming breatharian, my experience with permaculture, and what I see is that we could heal the world. We could live in a paradise, but it's at its root is our consciousness, and letting go of all the fears and the traumas, and healing on that mental, spiritual level is what's going to create the quantum conditions for the manifestation of this future thing. So just another reminder, we all know that energy goes where thought flow, or energy flows where thought goes. So to concentrate our minds away from the fear narrative, the control system, you know, all of that stuff, you know, all the conspiracy. I consume a lot of that stuff because I'm curious to know the truth. And I also take opposing opinions and things into my consciousness so that there's a more full sort of inner discourse and discernment that I can distill. So I'm hoping that this message is of service to you. I just think that we need to chant these thoughts and create this narrative, a different narrative than the one that's being fed, which is everything's coming apart. It may well be. I love what the Buddhists say. It's best not to worry, because if there's something you can do about it, do something about it. No need to worry. If there's something you can't do about it, there's no need to worry, because there's nothing you can do about it. So some of these things may be out of our control. Some of them are part of our collective evolution that we need to undergo. And so we'll just let that roll out. But in the meanwhile, we can take our focus, our locus of focus, our intention and our concentration to direct our mind and direct the flow of consciousness to other timelines, to a timeline where we have a resolution, a peaceful resolution, where we have realization. Something I pray for every day as a Buddhist, Om Mani Padme Hum, the jewel in the heart of the lotus, that all beings will realize their Buddha nature and become free and happy. That's what we all want. Let's work towards this vision. Let's work the land. Let's start with that and our own bodies and our own health and our own minds. And our abundance comes from nature. If there's no environment to support us, we're not going to be able to be here. Pretty simple, whether you're breatharian or not. So this is our responsibility, especially of beings of higher consciousness. And since this is the situation we have collectively created for ourselves, even if it was our ancestors who have set up this causal chain, even though it's not our fault, it is our responsibility. So anyway, that's all the message for today. I hope you got something from this family. Sending you all the blessed. One love. Be well.